Hello, in this video I'll be talking to you about more childcare tips. These are the last two sections, bottle feeding and diaper changing. Alright, bottle feeding has 6 items. 1. Wash your hands. 2. Sterilize bottles and nipples. Sterilize. I don't know how to do that. Let me see. Okay, here are 3 words. To wash, that's just soap and water, right? To sanitize, that's bleach. And that's after you washed it. Like the tabletop where everybody has dinner on top of that, okay? Now, the sterilizing the bottles and the nipples, I think that's done. I've got 2 kids and I don't remember how to do it. Alright, but that was so long ago. That was done on the stove with a pot of water, and I remember using the ice cube. It looks like a salad thing, but the ice cube thing to pick up the rubber nipples and the bottles, take them out of there, and then put them in. I used to put them in another container, plastic container, because they got water and it's hot, so don't just put it on the counter, put it on something. And then I used to leave it there, just cover it with a cloth until they cool down. And then I used to put it in the fridge, but I didn't do that part. The spouse did that part. Alright, label each bottle with child's name, contents, date, and time received. I haven't seen any, well, I haven't heard about any childcare, because I didn't work in those childcare places, but the spouse did, and she said none of them are labeled. Refrigerate prepared bottles. Yep, that's what we used to do. Warm the bottles in warm water before serving to the baby. That's a less than a 1-year-old. All right. Throw away leftover breast milk or formula after a feeding. Wow. Now, back then, with my first child, I told this spouse, if you don't stay home, I will stay home. Because the lady from the 4th floor, one lady in the 4th floor, a young woman, she had 1 child at the time. And that child was 3 years old. And she was, what, under 30. And she was taking care of our daughter for 1 week. And then her neighbor was an old woman, Mrs. Gutman. I always remember her. Was so kind. My daughter was, Mrs. Gutman told me, my daughter was crying and crying. So Mrs. Gutman knocked on the door and said, is that my daughter's name? Could I hold her? And then Mrs. Gutman held her and burped her and then gave her back to that young woman that didn't know how to take care of. You see, some women are, I'll take care of your child, I'll watch him, I'll clean him, but don't expect me to hug him, or don't expect me to do anything. And that's just the wrong kind. So after that incident, I told this spouse, if you don't stay home and take care of this child, I'm staying home. And I had 2 jobs at the time. I wasn't always a jerk, huh? Not working. But oh well. Alright, let's go to diaper changing. Always wash your hands before and after changing or checking a diaper. Alright. Assign a specific area for changing diapers. Yeah. Change diapers away from where food is prepared or served. Yeah. Clean and disinfect. Now here's another word here. Disinfect changing areas after each use. That one is tricky. Put soiled diapers in a signed trash can that has to have a lid on it. Alright, we had to go buy one that had a lid. A special kind of lid, not all those revolving lids. And the technique the spouse had been using, and I was here also, was just to open the door and sit in a tight Publix bag and throw it out there next to the bicycle, right? Out in the Florida room, which is not air conditioned. But they told her that she had to have a trash can anyway, even if she didn't use it, just to pass the inspection and so on. And then if, like, I take the kids out in the afternoon for half an hour, if I have to pick up the bag, then I'm supposed to wash my hands again, you know, and I'm out there in the yard. But I have to, if I go out there in the yard, I have to wash my hands and everybody else also when we come back in. So, like, it's a lot of rules, which it would be easy to follow if the house was built with like a bunch of sinks and you had one person per child. That's about the only way you could follow these rules. Yeah, one person per child. How about that? Alright, so I don't recommend any child care. Not because they do like the bad things and so on, but it's like, well, I look at it like, okay, you're paying these other people to take care of your kids, and then if you're not paying, if you're only paying $20 and then the government is paying the other 80, it's still, if child cares exist, they should be for 4 hours. That's it. And those are just little breaks for the parents to take a break. It's a tough situation there. If you have a child care at home, you have to get, if it's licensed, in order to pass these tests, you have to, like, not you like taking an exam, but your environment. It's got to be a learning environment. The computer, it has to be 20 inches from the nose of the child that is using it. 2 children cannot sit in adult-sized chairs, because then only one of them will control the mouse. To use something like starfall.com, you gotta time it so that they're not doing more than, what, 20 minutes, I think it is, per child. Besides the things like, we have cats now, so we couldn't have cats then, we couldn't have a dog then. But now we don't have a child care because our kids are big. And what did it though was, we didn't have any customers. Like, we had one that lasted 3 years. Everybody else was a couple of months, couple of weeks. And we couldn't pay the bills that way, so the spouse went to work at a child care and at public schools. And even the after-school program, she tells us how, you know, I hear about the Japanese going to school after school, school after school, and that they get home at 7 or something. But I imagine that those classes that they take, maybe it's dancing, or even if it is baseball, it's organized. It's not like over here where they're in the after-school program and what, they pop in movies and give them popcorn. They don't have one-on-one attention with any adult, like for homework questions or anything like that. It's noisy. cafeteria chairs, which are not comfortable, in my opinion. It's a different world. Alright, enjoy your life. Be better than I am.